I think some people are going to like this one. 2 Republican operatives from Arizona pretended to be communists and donated to a Democratic congressman to try and make him look bad. And they got caught and they look really, really stupid. These 2 guys used fake names. They used the names Jose Rosales and Ahmad Sadia. They walked into the office of Democratic Congressman Tom O'Halloran. They said, hey, we're here to make a donation to the congressman in cash. They had $39.68 in cash, and they wanted a receipt for the donation written out to the Northern Arizona Communist Party. So they go in with this money. The finance staffer for Congressman O'Halloran tells them, all right, fill out paperwork, and you're going to get a receipt by email. And when they were told that the receipt would come by email and not in person on paper, they crossed out the email that they had originally written down on the form, and they put in a different email address. And that rightly made O'Halloran's finance person wonder, why are they doing that? That's sort of a weird thing to do. They did a little research. They figured out that these were actually Republicans donating to O'Halloran under fake names. And this is the best part. Lindsay Coleman, who's the finance director, she drove with the $39.68 in cash over to the local Republican field office to return the money. Imagine this. She walks in and she sees the guy who claimed to be Jose Rosales in the office, except everyone in there is calling him Oscar. He used a fake name to make the donation.
Wouldn't be surprised if he had a name tag on his desk, too.
Oscar something else, yeah. He accepted the cash back from O'Halloran's finance director. The other guy was also using a fake name. You might be shocked to hear he wasn't really Ahmad Sadia, the Northern Arizona Communist Party member. Spokeswoman for the Republican running against O'Halloran said, this is news to us. No one from our campaign was involved in this juvenile stunt. So first and foremost, this is a crime. It's against the law to donate to a campaign under a false name. This should be taken seriously. You know, we hear all the time about people are voting without IDs and duplicate voting and whatever. Barely happens. When it does, it's usually a right-winger trying to prove a point. And when they get caught, which is usually, they need to be prosecuted because it needs to be shown that it is really serious to do this stuff. And along those same lines, this should be prosecuted as fully as possible. But if you haven't heard about this tactic before, this is a really old trick. Trump's buddy, his henchman, I guess we would call him, who I've interviewed, Roger Stone, he used to work for the re-election of Richard Nixon. He was supporting Nixon's re-election in the early 70s. And he started sending donations to Nixon had a primary opponent who was very anti-war. And Roger Stone started sending donations to Nixon's primary opponent from the Young Socialist Alliance, the idea being that you can later say, this is outrageous. Nixon's opponent was taking money from the Young Socialist Alliance. So this is a very, very old trick. And maybe the even dumber part of this is that wouldn't a true communist, there are already very few actual out-and-out communists in the US. Like there's a bunch of social democrats, there are some socialists, there aren't really that many communists. Would communists really be supporting centrists in the Democratic Party, especially ones like Tom O'Halloran, who used to be Republicans? Like, is that who the Communist Party in the U.S. is going to support?
That should be the first red flag. The other red flag would be that it came from the Northern Arizona Communist Party. Like, how many communist parties do you think there are in Arizona? Is there a Northern, a Southern, an Eastern, a Western? You don't need all those.
If communists are actually out there donating money in this way, I imagine that they would pick like the furthest left Democrats that they could find, right? You're not going to say, you know who the Communist Party really needs to support? Former Republican centrist Dem Tom O'Halloran, right? Like it's stupid to the core. And of course, we know that the right needs to do this stuff to win. They need, consider all of the tactics of the right. Gerrymandering, of course. Voter suppression whenever and wherever it's possible. That includes purging people from voter rolls, restricting early voting, whatever they can do. Smear campaigns, and then in this case, you can add falsifying campaign donations to the list. They need to cheat to win. That is the path forward for them. All you need to do is vote. That's it. If all progressives got out and voted, particularly in midterms, where the voter turnout is pathetically low, the people who are trying to influence elections with fake donations from supposed communists, I hope that they won't have an impact anyway. They definitely have no chance at making an impact if every progressive just got out and voted.
Yeah, Democrats certainly have the hearts and minds of the American people. It's just unfortunate that that hasn't been enough during the past few election cycles.
On the
and
issues they
we
do.
still have Republicans in control of all three branches of government now.
Even though the left does represent the views on the issues of a plurality of this country, the propaganda war has been won significantly by the right. And that's why you still have people who on paper should probably be voting for Elizabeth Warren if they were able to, if they lived in Massachusetts, thinking that they are moderate Republicans and voting for people like, who's a moderate Republican? I don't know.
Mitt Romney?
Mitt Romney, for example. Yeah, I guess so. Is he moderate? I hope I don't get a backlash for that. I guess, listen, compared to like Ted Cruz,
Yeah.
I guess we could say Mitt Romney is sort of a moderate. Yeah. Just get out there and vote. Please vote. That's my message to you.